The zone was closing in on Seowon. He dashed toward the safe area, noting that only 6 players remained, yet there were still 87 days left in the match. Confused, he questioned internally whether the zone was shrinking according to the number of players left. A little farther ahead, Seowon spotted a wide-open area. He thought to himself that encountering an enemy here would draw too much attention from others. Suddenly, countless magical arrows came flying toward him. He saw them just in time and dodged at the last moment. When he looked up, the sky was filled with magical aura. Only a second later, another wave of arrows was launched at him, far too many to dodge at once. Trusting in his internal energy, Seowon used his martial art technique from Chapter 1, Extreme Strength Punch, to deflect every arrow. He was amazed by his own power. Jumping into the air to scan the area, he was shocked to find no one in sight. However, behind a tree a little distance away, another player was watching. That player had poured all his mana into the arrow barrage, yet Seowon had countered it with ease. Before either could act, a sudden flash of steel appeared, a knife driven into the archer's chest. The victim, shocked that he hadn't sensed his attacker, turned to see an assassin standing there. The assassin calmly advised, "Always save some mana after a fight, buddy." He then told the dying player to go peacefully. With the archer eliminated, only 5 players remained. Seowon landed back on the ground. The assassin looked at him and said, "You must be Jin Seowon, right?" Seowon, standing directly in front of him, asked, "You know me?" "Of course," the assassin replied. "Aren't you the one who eliminated that monster Namsa Guang, the public enemy? Every remaining survivor is probably desperate to catch you." Seowon felt a flicker of surprise but didn't show it. The assassin continued, "Don't show off. Just die peacefully." He dashed forward, weapon ready. Coldly, Seowon also charged at him. The assassin called him slow and slashed his arm, leaving a deep injury despite Seowon reinforcing it with internal energy. Still, multiple cuts formed. "But your death is only a matter of time," the assassin said coldly. "I've never failed an assassination in such darkness." Seowon was slightly shocked. He had mostly fought mages before, but now he was up against an assassin. Darkness? He thought, wondering about the assassin's abilities. The assassin drank a potion and whispered, "Now I'll finish you." Then, he vanished into the air. Holding his wounded arm, Seowon muttered, He disappeared." But the assassin had reappeared right behind him. At the last moment, Seowon also vanished, using stealth himself. The assassin was shocked to see Seowon use such a technique. A moment later, Seowon appeared behind him and grabbed his arm tightly, causing the man to scream in pain. The assassin offered to work together, but the moment Seowon heard the proposal, he cut the man in half. Now only 4 players remained. Seowon sighed in relief, absorbing the life energy of his last 2 victims and using their healing scrolls to recover. Given the commotion, he looted quickly and tried to escape the area. On the assassin's body, he found a scroll of spirit, which would allow him to create his own clone, the number depending on his internal energy. When the system asked if he wanted to learn it, he accepted. He also found a magic book called Carmen's Eyes, granting him the ability to see anyone in stealth mode. As he was reading it, an arrow suddenly flew toward him, giving him a slight cut. Looking in the direction it came from, he saw many more arrows incoming. Shocked at the barrage, it was too late to dodge. He channeled all his internal energy into his fist and again used Extreme Strength Punch, deflecting the arrows. But then, 2 attacks came at him simultaneously. Suspecting a joint attack, he sensed someone rushing in and quickly dodged. A man with a sword appeared, forcing Seowon to back off and think, "Damn it, it's a 3-person party." The 3 players stood before him. King of Hersen, Senturk Demon King's right hand, Gyron Divine Archer, Zurokana. They declared that Seowon's luck had ended here. Seowon thought grimly, "Ha! Shit. What do I do now?" Seowon observed the 3 enemies before him, and thought of the fastest way to break up their alliance. His idea was simple. Create a situation where they would have no choice but to betray each other. The problem was that he didn't know their motives or interests. He had never seen them before in his life. Gairon leaped down from a cliff and greeted the other man, saying, "Your Majesty, King of Carson, it is an honor to meet you." Senturk, speaking with pride, replied, "How dare a mere black mage speak to the king?" Gairon apologized for his rudeness, then proposed teaming up for better rewards. Meanwhile, Seowon was already planning an escape route. Senturk noticed him activating his stealth ability and ordered Gairon to deal with him. "This will be a piece of cake," Gairon said confidently. He raised his hand, and a bright light filled the area, so intense that Seowon could barely see. A massive sphere of light formed above, erasing every shadow. Without darkness to hide in, Seowon's stealth became useless. Senturk praised Gairon for his strategy, while Seowon was shocked to see such a countermeasure. Gairon then thanked Namsaguang for killing Escrow, who had been a thorn in his side. Smiling, he whispered to Seowon, "Die," and unleashed a devastating spell, Chaos Blade Storm. Seowon felt a wave of fear. If he got too close, the magic would sweep him away. Still, he dashed forward, but Gairon launched the attack. "Foolish brute, just die," Gairon shouted. Seowon charged directly into the storm, circulating his internal energy to minimize the damage. The impact was severe. His cloak of stealth was destroyed, a system message informing him it had lost all function until repaired. In pain, Seowon thought, "Damn it. The internal energy around my body is breaking." Gairon, convinced of victory, said proudly, "At this rate, he must have been torn to shreds with no trace left." But Seowon was far from dead. Emerging from the storm, blood on his face, he used Severing Fist. Chapter 1. Straight Cut Fist to Break Through. Gairon didn't falter. Smiling, he mocked, "You foolish brat. You have no chance of winning. Give up." Then he unleashed another spell, Chaos Deadman's Hands, as spectral hands rose from the ground to grab Seowon. Seowon realized this opponent was on a completely different level from any mage he had faced before. Clenching his fists, he used Spirit Illusion Steps, shocking Gairon with his ability to use illusion magic. In a flash, Seowon appeared right in front of him. Before either could act, Senturk whispered, "Piercing Aura," and suddenly slashed at Gairon, cutting his neck. "What is this?" Gairon shouted in anger. "A king doing something so vile?" Senturk replied coldly. "There is no justification except victory. I never said I would collaborate with a wretch like you." He then killed Gairon without hesitation. Turning to the last remaining opponent, Senturk muttered, "Now only two remain. Divine Archer Zurukana, you were always a headache for our army. Strange that we should meet in a duel." Zurukana smiled faintly and said, "It doesn't seem like it will just be the two of us yet." "What are you talking about?" Senturk asked. At that moment, Seowon appeared right behind him, delivering a deadly punch that sent Senturk crashing into a wall. Breathing heavily, Seowon, "Finally, top two." Zurukana was surprised. He had thought Seowon had been killed by Senturk's sword, but it was all an illusion. "Stop talking and come at me," Seowon challenged. Zurukana grinned. "It seems that person has business with you before me, doesn't he?" Senturk, still alive but badly injured, cursed Seowon for using such unpleasant tricks. Standing up, he swore, "You'll regret making me fight at my best." In an instant, he disappeared, his speed shocking Seowon. Senturk reappeared and stabbed Seowon's right hand. "Looks like you need both hands to use your strange techniques," he said. In pain and barely able to sense his chi, Seowon gritted his teeth. It's too early to give up, he thought. Trusting his internal energy, he used it to cut Senturk's sword in half with his bare hand. Senturk was stunned, but immediately attacked again. This time, Seowon used Black Annihilation Hand, wounding Senturk's face. "How dare you wound my face?" Senturk shouted in rage. Seowon quickly ripped open a healing scroll, restoring his injuries. Senturk charged again, this time with Aura Blade, a move he acknowledged using only for worthy opponents. With both hands healed, Seowon activated Spirit Illusion Steps, full internal energy release, summoning countless clones. Senturk showed no fear. Victory will always be mine, he declared. From the cliffside, Zurukana yawned and said lazily, "Hurry up and finish this." A system message appeared. Only 3 players remain.